it's impermissible for me to accept something that's going to help me. When you say an impermissible benefit, by definition, it's something to help me. But, okay. So, the NCAA, and again, I talked about this the other day, how people think that the BCS and the NCAA are different. So that money from the BCS, most of it goes to the schools involved in the bowl games and all that kind of stuff. But this thing here, this tournament, yeah, it's called the NCAA tournament. This is the moneymaker. This is the moneymaker for the nonprofit known, and I'm doing the air quotes.
The nonprofit.
Yeah, you guys can't see me, but I'm doing the air quotes. Nonprofit known as the NCAA and Mark Emmert's scheming ass.
Yeah.
The guy who says there's no way that a player should get paid. Now, again, if you haven't heard me talk about this, see, I'm sounding like Dominina. He says again like 50 times during the Hawks game, but it's not again because he said it before. He just says again anyway. Oh my God, Neek.
Leave Neek alone.
I gotta love him. Yeah, I love him. He cashing checks, man. What else you want? You know. But I've said this before about the whole notion of a salary system. I don't know how it would work. You know what I mean? There are too many other things that are attached to it, like recruiting advantages and like the big schools, the Nick Sabans of the world would just continue to get bigger and better because they would have more money and more boosters, and Texas and those type of schools have more boosters to pump into a system where people got paid their value.
Give them a cap.
Well, still, you know, like even still, you still gotta like that's what people don't understand about like a salary cap in any league. Like the salary cap is just how much you can spend. You still have to have cash flow.
Right.
Like you still have to be able to cut the check. So you can give somebody a cap all you want to. But if it's Alabama versus, I don't know, if UAB still had a team, if it's Alabama, or let's say Alabama versus Middle Tennessee State University, yeah, you can have a cap of $140 million.
Right.
But if Middle Tennessee State only got $4 million, you still stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I'm with you. But what about, I guess, my thing is, I think you can figure it out. You can figure it out, you know, the formula for maybe basketball and baseball. But what about the rest of the athletes? I mean, basketball and football, but what about the rest of the athletes?
What about them?
You know.
And see, this is why.
That's where the monkey wrench gets thrown into me. Like, you got to pay, are you going to pay the aquatics team, or you going to pay the soccer team, or you going to pay the badminton team?
See, and this is why like a salary system wouldn't work because of those issues. But my solution is I don't want to call it a simple one, but if you or anyone else, you know what I forgot to do too, Doug? And we're gonna write this down so we don't forget to do this. That Todd Gurley thing, because you're gonna have to tell me about it. You sent me the link, and I didn't click on it. Then I said I'm gonna save it until Monday to read it, and I didn't read it. That Todd Gurley thing.
Okay, yeah.
About the Todd Gurley bill, and
right.
It totally slipped my mind till right now when I'm talking about a kid being able to profit from his likeness or profit from his popularity. Like, that's the world we live in. Like, all this stuff about, but everything isn't fair. You know, the poli-sci major can't do it. Well, guess what? If the poli-sci major did his homework in front of 100,000 people on Saturday, guess what? The poli-sci major would be pretty popular. But instead, he doesn't. That's just what life is. Todd Gurley is better than him at something that people want to pay a lot of money to see. And people want to pay a lot of money to be around a guy like Todd Gurley. So if that's the case, and some dude says, all right, Todd, I'm going to let you drive this Corvette for as long as you're here at Georgia. But, you know, every 90 days, you got to come to my dealership and cut a 30-second TV spot.
Right.
What the problem is. You know, what's the problem?
And I don't know how this works, but I know at one point, Georgia Tech, for some of their, the better athletes, like I know for a fact Calvin Johnson did this, but they had a thing with Delta where they got these little baggage jobs where they, put the bags on the plane, or a couple of them got to be concierges, whatever. So, things like that can be done. You can work out, certain situations for kids, but the whole likeness thing I think that would ease the burden on a lot of these players, because a lot of these, especially African American players, there's a lot of the better players that don't really have anything or don't really come from anything that find themselves in these situations. I mean, Johnny football is,
it comes from money.
Something else. But a lot of these African American kids that get caught up, a lot of these kids need the money. It's not because they're trying to be greedy. A lot of times they need the money. And if you want me to, I can go ahead and just tell you about this bill real quick. If you
well,
real quick.
Give me 1 second. Let me piggyback off what you just said real quick about the African American kid, because it goes back to something that we talked about on last week about. Well, actually, no. Give me the bill. Give me the bill, and we can get to this in a second.
Well, it's House Bill 3. It's sponsored by UGA alum Representative Barry Fleming. The bill passed in the Georgia House and is making its way to the Senate to prevent things like what happened to Gurley from being able to happen. So basically, this bill would give harsh penalties to anyone knowingly having a transaction with a student athlete that could jeopardize his or her scholarship or eligibility. So what will basically happen is the guy, I forget the guy's name, got Todd Gurley caught up, but
he's irrelevant.
He would be the one. He would then face legal action by the government.
Damn right.
It would be a Georgia state law that you can't touch the athlete.
Oh, so has it passed or hasn't passed yet?
It's passed the House. Now it's going to the Senate. Then once it goes to the Senate, then it goes to Governor Deal's desk for his approval.
Yeah, I'm calling that the snitch killer law. Yeah, let's see how many people are willing to tell on a 20-year-old now because he won't sign no more. Like he already signs thousands because he won't sign thousands more. You gonna turn into a little bi and snitch on the kid,
right?
And get him kicked out of school and kicked off the team. Yeah, good,
right,
good.
So then that person, they face jail time or whatnot.
Good.
If they do that. So yeah, it's kind of like a checks and balances. Like,
exactly.
All right, well, I got 1,000 from him, so maybe I just need to go in and chill out and just say fuck it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
henceforth will be known as the snitch killer bill. And I hope it passes.
Yeah, the Todd Gurley bill. It's actually called the Todd Gurley bill.
Look at that boy. Man, yeah. He should have trademarked
that.
They
love him some Todd Gurley. They love him some Todd Gurley up in Athens, man.
Well, so who drafted this bill? A dude from Athens drafted this bill?
Yeah, State Representative Barry Fleming. He is a UGA alum.
Okay, good for him. Good for Barry, man. Doing something that I consider to be good with his time. With the seat in Congress.
This is something else that they have in this article. It says the NCAA makes on average $871.6 million a year. If they took 10% of the earnings and divided evenly across 120 FBS teams and 85 scholarship players, each player would make about $8,700 a year.
Yeah, I think that's low too. I think that's a low amount. To be honest with you. I think that's a reported $8.7 million. Because you just heard me say, like, billions will be spent on this tournament this year.
Right, billions.
With a B.
Right, I mean,
this 1 year, today.
They're non-profit, so I don't even think they have to acknowledge some of the money that they make if they're non-profit, right?
Of course not. This dude Mark Emery don't even want to talk about his millions of dollars salary.
His salary.
Right. He try to brush it off. Like, come on, my man. We know you raping the game. It's cool. But now, when the time comes, like, and these coaches, that's the other thing too. These coaches like Dabo Swinney, that come out and say like, well, if we get into a situation where the players start making money, they're gonna have to do it without me. Bye. What have you done? What have you done? Like, right. This is the real deal. Like, okay, Dabo, you got your salary, you got whatever shoe contract, whatever Clemson's under, Nike or whatever. You got your radio show, you got your local TV show. You probably got a bunch of car deals like Mark Richt got with the Ford and all that kind of stuff. You get money from everywhere based on what these kids do on the field, and they get nothing. Like, damn that fake education stuff you're talking about, man. No, don't give me that. Because here's the thing, too. Like, it's not costing the school anything to put these kids in college. Like, at the very end,
right.
I'm not going to say anything. But when you talk about, like, stuff like housing and food, that's minimalistic. Because you're not spending, if your college tuition is, let's say it's $15,000 a year. Let's say it's $12,000 a year. Food and And room and board for an athlete is not up to $12,000 a year. And I can tell you what, they're not buying books for these kids. I remember, like, I was in college in 95 to 98, right? 99. And I remember where the books were, upstairs in Ms. Wheatley's office. You tell her what class you taking, she sends somebody back to the room, and they pulled it. You ain't in the bookstore buying no books with no vouchers or nothing. No, we weren't. They had the books on hand. And now we in like the technology age. I doubt if any of these kids are carrying books. The books have to be on your laptop, don't they now?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, if I had to make a guess.
A lot of stuff is, but I mean, some classes you still do have to get the textbook. But yeah.
So all that it kind of balances out. It kind of doesn't. And I would always propose this. Okay, since that's the case, tell you what. Because you make these kids sign this lifelong contract without, guess what, no representative but your parents. Like, most of these kids, it's just mom. She don't know nothing about it. She just know I'm happy that my son's going to college. He's going to be a football player. I don't have to pay for it. Cool. But the contract says that we own your likeness. I think the wording is from here and throughout the universe. What the hell? Throughout the universe? That seems like it's longer than forever. Like, forever is a long-ass time, but throughout like, if you move to Mars, guess what? We own your likeness, and we can take the pictures of you. Right. You can't negotiate the contract. You can only sign it or not sign it. So my proposal would be, and this is just coming to me on the fly, allow these kids to negotiate it. If the college experience is worth that much, tell you what you do. Just give me the money. Just give me the tuition money that you say you're going to spend on it. Give it to me. But two, give me a different contract that says my likeness is mine. And as long as I fulfill my duties as a student and an athlete, everything is cool. If I violate anything, like missing practice or I start flunking school, I have to pay a percentage of the money back. Let's go. That's how we do it in the real world. We negotiate contracts. We put something on the table that's beneficial for both parties. Not the NCAA. Right. They're like, nope, this is what you're going to do. You're going to bend over. I'm going to get this grease or not. And some things are going to happen back here. You're taking it or leaving it. And these kids say, all right. You hear the zipper go down, they bend over and say, just be gentle. That's it. That's how their negotiations go. So, yeah. And if you wondering, and again, if this is your first time listening to the Sports Kings podcast, heard on Spreaker.com, I just loathe the NCAA. Like, the practices that are going on within that organization is nothing short of embezzlement and organized crime and shaking these kids down and trying to make them feel good about getting an imaginary education.
Imaginary.
Yeah.
Hey, we just want you to load up on all these African American studies courses.
And Swahili.
Learn about your people. Learn about your people. And we'll see y'all on the court at 3:30 for practice.
Yeah. We want to see how fast Roy Williams can run when the hammer's about to get put down on the kids. Anyway, like I said, this is the Sports Kings podcast. Make sure you holler at us, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Sports Kings Live is the handle. The email is sportskingslive sportskingslive. No, it's not. Stop looking at that. Sportskingslive at gmail.com. Take 3. Sportskingslive at gmail.com. All right. Now, the whole situation that's also about to go on now, we got a couple guys that are specifically the main guy, Jalil Okafor, the center for Duke, 7-foot kid out of Chicago. He's going to be gone next year. He's going to be playing on someone's NBA team next year. The Knicks hope it's them. The 76ers probably hope it's them. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, we got a little housekeeping to do as far as some things that were said last week about these one and dones. And I have it highlighted here on the old tablet. That's my French coming in. I did take French and passed it. Flunked Spanish, took French. And passed it.
Okay. That's weird.
You want to know how?
Okay.
I cheated. And the teacher.
How?
And then Madame Lachi
liked
me.
Cheated.
Yeah, Madame Lachi.
You cheated.
She liked me. She just tried to act like she didn't, but she liked me.
I think everybody cheated in foreign language.
We was cool.
I mean, because I know my good friend Jessica. I mean, she blessed me. I'm talking about both years. Boy, she was a year behind me. So I think I was in the 10th grade when I first started taking it. She was in the 9th, so she took it in 9th and 10th grade. And so I took it 10th, and we had to take it 10th and 11th. And boy, I'm talking about I straight cheated off that girl for